So, what is an inverted kingdom? The examples we get from the Bible is Jesus said if you want to be the greatest, you become the servant of the least. And he said if you want to be first, then be last. So in most examples that he gave us, the examples that he gave us were counter to what we typically believe when we're trying to get ahead and we're trying to be successful. Typically, we start a business because we want to make money. We want to take care of our needs. But if you really think about any business, what you're doing is you're providing a service for someone else. We're an interconnected humanity, and you can approach your business, even though it's doing exactly the same thing, you can have an underlining motivation for why that business works. To be a service business and provide a product, and in that situation, you honor and give respect to your customer. Or you can look at them as just people that are dropping by, taking advantage of them. And if you can con them and get them to buy your product, even if the product isn't any good, you're basically making it work. One interesting thing happened in the book of Malachi. It is brought to our awareness that the Jews says it doesn't pay to follow God. And the reason is because God never punished anybody. And so it paid to color outside the lines. It paid to cheat because you could be ahead of the game and God would never punish you. Well, here's the important principle that we need to learn from this. God said, I could have sent the angels to scold you, and I could have reprimanded you. But he said, then if I would have done that, he said, you would have learned to fear me. You wouldn't have learned to love me. God is love in its purest form, and he remains behind the scenes with compassion and open arms, just like was exemplified in the prodigal son, the story of the prodigal son. Remember when the son turned to come home, the father didn't fold his arms and say, oh boy, I can hardly wait to hear what this excuse is. No, he said, kill the fatted calf. He was already thankful that his son had turned to come home. So God's position before us is total compassion. And that is why he sold us, because of our disobedience, into the beast nations, so that the governance or the judication of our acting out would be reprimanded by the government that was in charge wherever we lived. And then God could continue to remain in his position of grace and mercy. So we'll talk about that a little bit more so that we can take a position and let our friends know that God is perfect love, and he is just like he is in the prodigal son, and he is waiting with open arms, and it doesn't make any difference how difficult or how heinous our sin might have been. Tune in for the next one. We're going to continue on with this one. Thank you.